Turn around for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I'm
under
gonna
arrest.
take 2. I'm gonna take 2.
That doesn't change anything. You still are going to be arrested.
Well, what?
Okay.
You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do.
Y'all are not ready for this story. What I'm about to tell you is so twisted, so backwards, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. But this is real life, and it's happening to one of hip-hop's biggest rising stars right now. GloRilla just got hit with charges that could end everything. And before you think this is just another rapper gets arrested story, hold up. This one's different. This one will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about justice in America. The streets are going crazy over what happened to Glo. Social media is on fire. Fans are losing their minds. And honestly, they have every right to be heated. So let me break this down for you, because what happened to Gloria Hallelujah Woods, yeah, that's GloRilla's real name, is absolutely insane. Picture this, July 22nd, 2025. GloRilla is living her best life, performing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis. Thousands of fans screaming her name. She's on top of the world. But while she's on stage doing what she loves, something terrible is happening back home in Georgia. 3 masked men break into her house. We're talking full-blown home invasion. Her family's inside, scared for their lives. One of them had to grab a gun and fire shots just to scare these criminals away. Jewelry stolen, family traumatized, Glo's whole world turned upside down. Now here's where it gets twisted. Instead of the police focusing on catching these actual criminals, guess what they did? They arrested GloRilla, the victim, for some weed they found in her own bedroom closet. I'm not making this up. The woman calls for help after her house gets robbed and the cops lock her up instead of the burglars. Fans on Twitter lost it when this news broke. One user posted, "They really arrested the victim while the real criminals are still free. Make it make sense." Another said, "This is why black women don't trust the system. Glo deserved protection, not prosecution." But wait, it gets worse. As of right now, listen to this carefully. Nobody has been arrested for the actual break-in. The 3 men who terrorized her family, stole her stuff, and violated her home, they're walking free. Meanwhile, Glo was staring down felony charges that could destroy her career. The internet exploded when she posted on Twitter, "My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Weekend, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focused on some cannabis." That tweet hit 3.6 million views and counting. The people could feel her pain through the screen. But to understand why this hit so hard, we got to go back to the beginning. Before the fame, before the money, before everyone knew her name. Gloria Hallelujah Woods came from nothing. And I mean nothing. Born and raised in South Memphis, one of the roughest neighborhoods in the entire South. We're talking about a place where making it through the week feels like a victory. Picture this. 10 kids crammed into one small house. 6 brothers, 4 sisters, all fighting for space, food, hope, sleeping on air mattresses like they were luxury beds. Some nights dinner wasn't guaranteed. But Glo, she was different from day one. Her mama knew it too. That's why while her brothers got the middle name Carmichael and her sisters got Nicole, Gloria got blessed with Hallelujah. That name was a prophecy. Now here's the plot twist most people don't know about Glo. Before she was rapping about being free and independent, she was deep in church life. We're talking front row of the choir, belting out Amazing Grace and Encourage Yourself. Girl had pipes, real vocals, not just rap skills. Every Sunday, no matter what, the Woods family pulled up to church. That was the routine. Gospel was in Glo's DNA. But you know how the story goes. High school hit different. Those church pews got replaced by late nights and loud music. That gospel voice got pushed to the background as life started hitting harder. Then 2022 came and changed everything. Glo linked up with Hit Kid and created something special. That track F&F, Let's Go, wasn't just a song, it was a movement, pure lightning in a bottle. When it dropped, the internet caught fire. TikTok went crazy, Billboard charts got shook. This girl from South Memphis just went from sleeping on air mattresses to Grammy nominations. But F&F was more than a bop. It was a war cry for every woman tired of settling for less. The message hit different. I don't need no weak dude to validate me or pay my bills. Women everywhere felt that in their souls. But success brought drama, though. Hit Kid, the same producer who made the beat, started claiming Glo and CMG were trying to steal rights behind his back. But Glo wasn't about to let anyone play her like she didn't know the game. The way she handled that situation shows she was built different. She didn't get starstruck when the big labels started calling, private jets, dream deals, the whole fantasy, but Glo stayed smart. She spent 2 weeks meeting with every major label, doing her homework, reading the room. Then she sat down with Yo Gotti. That meeting hit different. Yo Gotti wasn't just some exec in a suit. He was Memphis royalty. And when he heard her unreleased tracks on that yacht, his reaction was instant and real. This wasn't about milking one hit for Yo Gotti. He saw the bigger picture. He saw the future of Southern rap sitting right in front of him. But success made Glo a target. April 2024, she gets pulled over in Gwinnett County, Georgia. DUI charges, but the body cam footage didn't show some drunk celebrity stumbling around. It showed a young black woman who knew the moment she saw those flashing lights that she was already guilty in their eyes. You could see it in her face. Fame wasn't protecting her. If anything, it made her more of a target. That arrest should have been a wake-up call, not for Glo, but for everyone watching how the system moves when young black artists start winning too loud. Meanwhile, her career was exploding. The collab with Cardi B on Tomorrow 2 went insane. People weren't just vibing with her music, they were calling her one of the realest voices in hip-hop. But with that spotlight came pressure. She was getting picked apart in interviews, headlines, online, sometimes for stuff that had nothing to do with her music. Behind the scenes, she was hurting. A bad breakup had her so down she couldn't eat for weeks. The fame that once felt like a blessing was starting to feel like a weight. What made Glo stand out wasn't just her bars, though. It was her vulnerability. In interviews, she didn't fake it. She talked about her struggles, her pain, the stuff that most celebrities try to hide. When she caught heat in August 2024 for dropping a questionable word in her lyrics, she didn't play defensive. She owned it, revised the lyrics, addressed it head on like a real one. Fans showed love immediately. Comments flooded in, "Okay, Queen, a considerate legend," and "Other artists should take notes." Then October brought her debut album, Glorious, but even that stirred controversy. The track Rain Down on Me featured gospel heavyweights like Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music. Some gospel folk wasn't feeling a rapper known for explicit lyrics working with spiritual legends. But Glo's fans clapped back with facts. She grew up in church. She led the choir. This wasn't a cash grab. It was full circle. When body shamers came at her, Glo stood firm. "No, I'm not getting a BBL. I already feel like the thickest, baddest in the world." And honestly, that's the energy. By July 2025, she wasn't just winning, she was dominating. Headlining the WNBA All-Star Weekend, living her dreams, building her legacy. But success comes with a target on your back, and Glo was about to learn that the hard way. July 20th. While she's lighting up the stage in Indianapolis with thousands screaming her lyrics, something dark was going down back home. 3 masked suspects broke into her house. They knew she wasn't there. An armed family member let off shots, scaring the intruders away, but the damage was done. Jewelry gone, family traumatized, Glo's whole world turned upside down. Now here's where it goes from bad to absolutely infuriating. Instead of focusing on the actual criminals, the ones who broke in, threatened her family, stole her stuff, the cops decided GloRilla was the real problem. Why? Because they found some weed in her own bedroom closet. Think about that. A successful black woman calls for help after her house gets robbed, and the police response is to arrest her for possession. Not chase the burglars, not protect her family, just lock her up over some bud. Weed, a substance that's legal in over half the country and decriminalized in most others. That's what they chose to focus on. And here's the part that really makes your blood boil. The real criminals are still walking free. The ones who stormed Glo's house, traumatized her family, stole her jewelry, they're out here like nothing happened. Meanwhile, GloRilla, the victim, is staring down felony charges that could crush everything she built. When the news broke, social media lit up with rage. Not just her fans, but people everywhere calling it what it was, injustice. One Twitter user posted, "They really said, your house got robbed. Here, let us arrest you. This system is broken." Another said, "This is why black women don't trust the system. Glo deserve protection, not prosecution."
She followed up with another post that shut it down. "Long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the only one that gets arrested. So that's T." That shrug emoji said everything. Frustration, disbelief, and straight up, y'all wild for this. Let's break down the facts, because they're enough to make anyone with common sense feel sick. 1:30 a.m. Forsyth County Sheriff's Office gets a call. Burglary in progress at Glo's suburban Atlanta home. 3 suspects broke in while she was hundreds of miles away performing in Indianapolis. Real crime? Home invasion and burglary. Real victims? Glo's family who had to defend themselves. Real criminals? 3 armed intruders who stole jewelry and ran. What did the cops do? They launched a full operation. Drone teams, K9 units, search warrants. Not to track the burglars, but to dig through GloRilla stuff. They found some weed in her closet and called it significant. That's what they arrested her for. Her legal team, led by attorney Drew Finland, captured the insanity perfectly. Her family did exactly what they were supposed to do, call police after a violent home invasion. But instead of focusing on the real threat, law enforcement locked in on some cannabis and ran with that. No arrest warrants have been issued for the home invaders. They're free. Meanwhile, GloRilla faces felony charges that could put her behind bars for years. The reaction across hip-hop culture has been explosive. Artists, activists, everyday fans, everybody's asking the same question: how is this justice? But the most powerful response didn't come from a lawyer or a press release. It came from Glo herself. Through all this, with felony charges hanging over her head, media ready to pounce, she didn't fold. She didn't cancel her scheduled show at FedEx Forum in Memphis. She pulled up like a queen, gave her fans everything they came for, and proved nothing was going to dim her light. Social media went crazy. Glo really said, "Y'all can't stop this queen," and performed anyway. That's strength. Another fan posted, "She showed up for Memphis while the system tried to tear her down." That's loyalty. This isn't just about one artist or one bad arrest, though. It's a pattern, a playbook used against young, successful black creators. The second they rise too high, the system finds ways to pull them back down. It's like there's an unspoken rule: you're not allowed to win too big without punishment. The legal charges GloRilla's facing aren't minor. Felony possession of marijuana and controlled substances, charges that could carry real prison time. Even if she avoids jail, the damage could be major. These charges could block her from traveling overseas, cut her off from big venues and endorsements, stop her empire from expanding. Think about the irony. GloRilla went from sleeping on air mattresses in South Memphis to being a self-made millionaire. She turned pain into purpose, gave her community hope, carved out her lane in rap. She's exactly the kind of American dream story people love to praise until the system decides it's time to tear it down. This isn't her first time dealing with unfair treatment either. That DUI case in April 2024 wasn't just about a traffic stop. It was another moment where she was treated like a suspect first and a human being second. The scrutiny on GloRilla has been next level. The message is clear. Her success made her a target. Attorney Drew Finland called GloRilla's arrest a disturbing window into how law enforcement priorities have become warped. That wasn't just legal talk. It was a moral stand that resonated with millions who've seen this injustice play out time and again. The legal system moves slow, real slow. Nobody can predict how this case will end, but one thing's already certain. GloRilla already won in the way that matters most. She showed the world who she is. She stood 10 toes down through public scrutiny, legal threats, and the weight of a broken system. She still showed up for her fans, her city, her purpose. Whether she beats the charges, whether justice is served, whether the system fails someone it should have protected, one fact remains: Glo's legacy is cemented. Her impact on hip-hop, on culture, on young people who see themselves in her story, that can't be erased. From church choir soloist to rap queen with global influence, GloRilla's journey proves you can rise, fight back, and still shine. The streets are watching, the culture is paying attention, and everybody's asking the same question: When will the system protect black women instead of punishing them for calling for help? Fans are still posting support. Justice for Glo is trending. Protect black women is gaining momentum. The conversation isn't stopping until things change. This story isn't over. The real criminals are still out there. The system's still broken. But GloRilla, she's still standing, still fighting, still proving that no matter what they throw at her, she's unbreakable. That's the real tea. That's the real story. And that's why the culture will never forget what happened to one of our brightest stars when she needed protection the most.